We're live.
Hey, we're live. I got distracted because my phone like scooted. Hey, watch live from the stand, and I'm like, notifications for our own show. That's a bit weird. But hey, we're back. Honestly, don't know what episode it is, as you noticed by the title. Episode, huh?
It's episode the Courtney Danielle show.
It's episode something. What's up, everyone? Thanks again, Danielle and Karen, who's not here, for holding it down last week. We're gonna hold it down as much as we can this week, and be forewarned. I was telling Danielle I'm downstairs today, as you'll notice the better lighting. But I also have like a gaggle of cats just here, and they don't like to behave all the time. So if you start hearing me yell at cats, or they make an appearance, because they might, the more likely of the two events is me yelling at the cats. Just go with it. So a lot of things happen. We seem to be in that stretch where like there's 7 games in the course of 10 days, and that just is brutal for everybody. But we're gonna power through it the best we can. Of course, we're trying to plan the show for today, and U.S. national team camp roster drops too. So we're like, wow, we already had a lot to talk about. Let's just add that in. So
I was trying to move my home office. New background. And I'm like, roster, I can't even look at the roster. I'm doing stuff. Why won't things stop? By the way, if you see boxes, y'all can keep me accountable, because if the next show there's still everything back there, yell at me. Yell at me anyways. I've been here for like 2 months.
I've been here for a year, and I just unpacked some of my belongings still, so it's fine. Anyways, we'll scoot right along. As always, chat or talk to us. Yeah, Alyssa, the long weekend messed me up too. I think yesterday I was like, we should have a show. When are we having a show? What are we doing? Hence why the link didn't go out until 5 minutes ago. It's okay. Yes, we will get to that Star Killer. I know Danielle just answered about the U.S. roster, but we'll get there towards the end. We'll kind of end talking about that a little bit. But I'm just going to do what we did, like a little bit of a lightning round of the games for last week. Danielle, if you have anything poignant or burning to add anything to any of these games, jump in. Otherwise, we'll be here for like 20 hours if we try to like actually analyze every single game.
That's a lie, because Karen found out you can be live for 8 hours. So we would be on for 8 hours if we did it right.
Let's not do that, because that's still past my bedtime. So Jen will be home. Hey, show's still going on. What's up? Anyways, first game Wednesday, there was like 4 games, whatever. 3 games, 4 games, 3 games. So first game, North Carolina beating Orlando 4-3. I know that was kind of there was a lot of question, and rightfully so, about would they be the team, Pride be the team that beat the Courage. Historically, yes is usually the answer to that, but not this time. However, it was a great game. Oh, there's going to be sound because the NWSL wants to load a video right now. Sorry.
Every single one.
It wants to load the recap, which I don't want to watch. Goals by Jessica McDonald, Kioma Ubagagu, Dabinia, Sam Mewis, Alana Kennedy, Rachel Hill, Jessica McDonald again. Assists by Nairn, Marta, Dunn. Well, Marta had 2 assists. O'Sullivan, Hinkle. Yeah, lots of things happening. That's basically it. I think I'm just trying to think, and I just closed out of the stat box, so there's that. Just hang out. I'll just stall for a minute.
So prepared.
Listen, I literally got home. Well, I literally got home about 5 minutes ago. I was like, oh crap. the ever consummate professionals that we are here. I don't know. While I'm waiting for the stuff to load again, I will say. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, my only thoughts watching this, seeing this, is even if, and I mean, we'll kind of touch upon it later too, even if Orlando lost, it really seems like they're starting to figure it out. And that's, you know, you don't have to be an Orlando fan to kind of be excited about that. I think that we've been good for Orlando. So, you know, if it is clicking, if they are fine, I know they made the playoffs last year, but I'm saying like if they're clicking this early, get it going, you know, it could be the team we think they could be.
Yeah, I agree. Thanks for that. You gave me enough time to get my life together. But yeah, I think a lot of people said that was going to be the second half of the season was going to be more poignant for them since they were missing like I don't know half the team the whole first part of the first couple weeks. So good on them. We'll come back to Orlando because they kind of kept that good momentum going into the next game. But next up, Sky Blue. Sky Blue lost 1-0 to the Spirit. Goal by Ashley Hatch and assisted by Andy Sullivan, which I like to see. I think Hatch had a really good, when she got some minutes in for the Courage last year, had some really good potential. And of course, everyone wants to see Andy Sullivan get involved in the match for the Spirit. So I think that was good on them. Again, we'll come back to most of these teams because they pretty much all played again. Houston Dash over Seattle. I will ask you, Danielle. I know the answer because we talked about it. Was this a surprise to you that the Dash beat the Reign here?
I mean, technically, yes, because you know the Dash. They've been on the struggle bus, and I went on last week at length about how, you know, if you look at games in hand, Seattle's actually not that far behind North Carolina. But no, because I called it last week. Houston, like I was saying at that time, has a tendency to win games they shouldn't. So maybe they're showing us that no, they're winning games they should. Still think Seattle should have won that, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I do think Seattle should have won. It just seems kind of a unlikely game for them to win. But hey, you know what? Chrissy Mewis scored. Veronica Latsko, that was hard. Sorry, also scored. Assisted by somebody whose name I'm going to butcher, so I'm not going to try to say it, but look it up.
Beverly scored for Seattle. Yay.
And then Beverly Yanez scored, which I always love when Bev scores. Good for her. I got
my favorite Seattle player.
I got to bring up the topic of Chrissy Mewis on this. Just because she scored, having a heck of a season, I think, for the Dash. Unfortunate, as we'll get to later, that she had that non-contact injury in the Dash last game. Find out she's out for the season. Initially, they had said, I don't know if they had changed what they said. They had said that she had a sprain, but then she was tweeting about an ACL, so maybe it's just a badly sprained ACL. I don't really know. I haven't had a busy day at work, so I didn't really get to check up on that. But like I said, they had put her out with a knee sprain. She mentioned ACL, so again, it could just be a really bad ACL sprain. Obviously enough to have her out for the season, and I'm really sad about that, just because I think she'd finally, after getting literally bounced around all last season and then throughout pretty much her career in the NWSL, I think she was finally at a team where she fit well and had the opportunity to shine, and then this happens, but I'm sure that she will be back and better than ever in the future. Those are the cats hissing. Sorry, stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, Mewis always has a soft spot in most of our hearts, just because she, you know, she's on the national team at that time where, you know, I think the fan base really started to grow after the Olympics as she started getting called up. So I think she's just always been someone that people like. And, you know, she's a former, you know, FCKC player that first season. She's played for almost every team. And me sad. Me too,
but I hope that she will, like I said, come back. Have have a good, safe recovery, quickest. I don't want to say have a quick recovery because you don't want to rush that kind of thing, but I hope she has as quick and a safe recovery as possible, and that we see her again next season, and hopefully kind of picking up where she left off, because I really think she was having a really good season, and it's just not that injury is never good to have, but especially when you're kind of on a roll and finally kind of hitting your stride after kind of getting bounced around a lot. That just it sucks a little bit more. But Portland Thorns and the Royals, this is like gonna get me in trouble, but this is just like I don't care about this game because as we've talked about, there have been issues with both teams and fans of both teams that I just don't care. And I'm coming back to the fans of the Thorns in a little while here.
I'm not.
Danielle out of it if she so chooses, but I'm just could not really kill us about this game. But for the sake of everything, Christine Sinclair, Tobin Heath, assist, Lindsey Horan, assisted by Klingenberg. Shockingly, Horan got another yellow card. I mean, we're what? Whoa! Hi, Cats.
Well, they're 4 on the season already, as was pointed out on Twitter. Disagree with the person who said that. Oh, well, we may, give them back cards for good behavior, which I get is an MLS policy. But our league's shorter, and if you get 4 this early in the season, you know what? If you hit 5, take the suspension. You got to take the L. So.
I also am unwilling to, and I know you can't do it based on individual players, but these players who get cards so quickly are the same players every single year. Specifically, Lindsey Horan, every single year who has this problem, every single year who feels like she's playing on 4 yellow cards for half the season. And I just feel like she's been just real reckless this year. And I think, again, you can't take it individually, but you're right. The season's so much shorter, and I think if you're gonna play blatantly reckless and get this many yellow cards early on, that's all the more reason why you shouldn't have, given back good behavior cards, is because, maybe that is the only way that that kind of, I guess, aggressiveness and slight recklessness will change if there's an actual consequence that you have to deal with for the rest of the season. Doesn't just go away. So yeah, that's always disappointing. And Christine Sinclair just continues to. I will say much I don't care about this game because Christine Sinclair continues to just keep rolling. Tobin Heath, since she's been back after missing what seems like a bajillion and 1 years of soccer, has been doing really well since she's been back. So I know Jen would want me to mention that. She didn't give me a list today, but I know if she did, Tobin Heath would have been on it. So I think those are both good things. Good to see that Sinclair doesn't really seem to be slowing down, and he is not really feeling a whole lot of pitch rust since being gone so long. So both of those things I think are good. Moving on to the game of the week.
Game of the week.
Orlando, like I said, came close against North Carolina, had a great game against Chicago. We're just on it. Goals, 2nd minute, Rachel Hill, 6th minute, Alex Morgan. Sydney Leroux got 2 goals within 2 minutes. But with an excellent assist, that I could watch that highlight of that ball from Allie Krieger to Sydney Leroux all day. It was just so hey, what's up? And yeah, I just well, I'll come back. If you have anything you want to say about this one, Danielle, then I'll come back to kind of the landing points. But I think this was a game Orlando really looked strong. But,
yeah. I'm echoing. I think that's on your end, just so you know. So I thought, I was watching. I'll be honest. Started watching I was watching the end of the Champions League game, and then all of a sudden I look at Twitter and it's less than 10 minutes in, and it was already 2 down, which was okay, why not? And then all of a sudden Sam Kerr, she got the 1 back, she got the 2nd, and it was a pretty, Sam Kerr goal. So it was like, okay, now we got a game. And then Sydney Leroux, bam, bam. I mean, it felt like as soon as it was kicked off, she got that second one. Sydney's first goal with Orlando. And then I think they said it was her first multi-goal game since the first season, I want to say. Starkiller, I assume that you might know. So if you put that in the chat. But, it was exciting. I think that a lot of people on Twitter were like, Sydney's back. And they realized, hey, maybe it's a little premature to say that, but it was fun. It was Sydney Leroux goals. I think the reason we all loved her. And then, 83rd minute, add one more goal. So Orlando just, like I was saying, they're getting good. And Chicago just so much potential. I think I was talking about this last week. It's like, come those weren't words, but whatever.
I think everyone thought, and she's been pulling her weight, but I think everybody thought that Kristen Press is gone. Sam Kerr is going to be the saving grace of the Red Stars, and everything's going to be fine because she's going to pull the season through. She's been doing what she can. She's been scoring goals and making plays, but if I'm Chicago Red Stars fans, I may be a little bit concerned. I know that this is a year where they've had a lot of change to their roster, but I don't know. I don't think it's been clicking for them, and that's maybe slightly concerning. It's too early for me to be concerned yet, but I think it's a little bit worrisome that they're so far down in the standings at this point. And yeah, Sam Kerr's been great, but I'm just trying to find something that makes me say yes, they're coming back. And they've had a horrible injury. So I won't, I give them, I allow for that. And that's, I guess, if they can get some more of those players back, they've gotten some back. They can get some more of the players that they're missing. I think they still have a couple that are on the injury list still. I don't really know when there's a timeline for them to come back, but I will say the start of their season, they had a lot of injuries, but they're starting to get players back. And it's not, I don't think, making the difference that it should.
So apparently, I think Sydney might have had a multi-goal last year game. Starkiller pointed out against the Washington, possibly, which I have blanked every FCKC game out of my head. But I blame Twitter because if I see a tweet, obviously that means it's right. And I saw people tweeting it. So my team is dead, as I've been saying. So you know what? Let me live.
I do want to say it was nice to see Danny Weatherholt get that goal too, just because they had a nice little feature on her too. And it's nice to see people other than people who have been on the national team who are more big name individuals, usually the ones that media focus on and that the teams focus on. So it was kind of nice they did a nice little piece on her this week, and then for her to get a goal late in the game. I think that's just a little bit icing on the cake, if you will. And then we're back to Sky Blue, and I'm not trying to hate on Sky Blue. I have been to many a Sky Blue game. I have met a lot of the folks in the Cloud9, a lot of really great people that are fans and are affiliated with Sky Blue, and I'm feeling for you guys. I don't know how to fix it. I don't really have any ideas how to fix it. I will say I'm a little surprised that they only lost to Seattle 1-0, just because Seattle's been so on fire. Megan Rapinoe is someone else who's been really great this season, but I guess it's good for them they only lost to Seattle by a goal, but I don't. Do you have any, not putting you on the spot, do you have any thoughts about Sky Blue or anything like that?
They have the talent, which is, I think, worse. If it was a team that, you have a new coach and it was, they got a decent amount of players, you're decent players, but it wasn't, top tier yet. That would have been one thing, but they have one of the best players in the world. I mean, I don't give Carly compliments that often, but even when Carly's not good, she's still Carly. I mean, criticisms of her aside, They have internationals. They have so much talent, and I just wish it clicked. And I think I said this last week, but there's so much what could have been with this team. Like if last season, if it wasn't a fire sale, they're getting rid of people and whatever drama behind the scenes. If it just would have been a normal end of the season, normal off season, maybe they wouldn't have some of these problems. I don't know, but there's still played 3 fewer games than some. So, they're not necessarily as far back as they look, but they still only have 1 point. And they've lost how many straight? Wasn't that 1 point like one of the first games of the season too?
I do believe it was one of the first games of the season, yeah.
So, I think we're past the point with chemistry. We're past all that. Just like I think Starkiller said, they make me sad like Boston made me sad. Like, come on, guys. And like you said, I love Cloud9. I think they're one of my favorite supporter groups in the league. I love most of them. Sky Blues always had a soft spot in my heart, but just
I get you. And then lastly, before I revisit Portland, we'll come back. I just saw a question by Starkiller. How much of Sky Blue's struggles would be fixed with a more experienced head coach? I'll go first, and you can think about that for a second. I don't know. That's hard to say, I guess. I think we need more than one season to see that, I guess. And I hope they don't rush to do an off-season coaching change. I really hope that there's a little bit more time given. I don't know. I usually have very strong opinions. I don't know if I want to say that I feel there's something else going on there, and I think maybe more experienced coach would help some, but I don't think that's like a magic quick fix and they'd be like killing it if they had more experience. I think there's other stuff going on than the fact that they maybe don't have the most experienced head coach.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think you hit it on the head. Yes, she's a new coach, so there is some inexperience, but there's obviously more to it, and I think that it's a good combination of them. We've had new to the league coaches in this league just kill it before, so I don't know. I think you kind of hit it. It's something else happening, and nope, not going into this. So yep, more to it.
Gotcha. And then last but not least, Houston keeping it going. Go Dash. I have read on Twitter that they've made the joke, so I feel okay saying it, that when both Hal Kaiser and Haley Carter don't go to or watch the game is the times that the Dash have won. So I think they may have self-banned themselves, but as that was apparently the common denominator the other night as well. But all joking aside, shout out to both of them, great people. But I just think it's funny that there seems to be a bit of a pattern there, and they can have a good laugh at themselves about it. So can I. But first and foremost, so 2 goals by Daly, 1 by Ojai. Gonna go ahead. I feel like there was some offsideness happening for that first goal, but that's just me. But no, I think that's a lot of people who seem to think that was offside. But anyways, Rachel Daly having a heck of a game. Believe she was voted the player of the week this week. I saw that real quick today when I was leaving work. Checked my email real quick, but
she was
heck of a game by her. And so great. I'm pretty much indifferent to Ojai. I know people are on the Ojai train, and she has a ton of talent, and I was glad that we finally started seeing it. And I know she had that ACL, and she's been having kind of I don't want to even call it a slow start back, because I don't think that's fair to her, but For her to finally get a goal, her first goal back from her injury, good for her. Really pumped. It was a nice goal too. It was a beautiful ball, and she just kind of stayed with the play the whole time and bounced off a Spirit player. Great goal, and she was just so happy, and everyone was so happy for her. And I think that's what I like about the Dash so much, and what may be helping them. They very clearly have so much good team chemistry and camaraderie. Like the whole team was so pumped for that goal, not just because we got a goal, yay team. I mean, I'm sure that was part of it, but I think you could tell people were so genuinely happy for her, and I think that that's awesome. I think that that's part of what's been helping the Dash out. Like I said, so that was good. And then Daly's kind of cheeky little like walking the ball in. I gotta say, I know Bledsoe thought she had to come out because like the Spirit defense was like on vacation, but if you're gonna come way out like that, you got to get the ball. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. That's a bold move, and it's such a risk, but like. That you have to get the ball if you were gonna come out that far, because like Daly pretty much like literally dribbled it all the way to like the goal line, just kind of like booped it in. So which like I said, was kind of cheeky on her part, but like secretly kind of enjoyed it. But I can't trash on the Spirit too much because I'm gonna get in trouble. But
there were some angry fans about that one.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know. I don't know what's worse if she does that or she, like, either way, I feel like, if she she could have just tapped it in, but, it's a little gamesmanship. It's going to be okay. Like,
that's soccer. Like, it happens. We would have all been mad if it's our team too. Yeah, that's just the reaction.
Absolutely. We all would have been mad if that was our team, but, like I said, just a little bit of games. I don't think she was trying to be disrespectful, but, Spirit, I have to be careful. Don't get in trouble. Not only from my wife, but because of like I have a lot of Spirit fan friends. Shout out Squadron, you guys are great.
Meh.
What? I know that's a sarcastic. Yeah, I was saying, I know that's joking. Or like Blue Squadron 134, something like that.
Yep. Nope. Homies for life.
Can we be worried about the Spirit yet? I'm gonna be worried about the Spirit. Like, I know, again, they got Rose Lavelle, and she finally came back from her, like, year-long thigh, whatever, hamstring injury. Finally, yay. But, like, what? I'll say, I don't know. Did they need a new coach again? I'm not trying to say it's Gabar's fault. I don't really know what goes on with Gabar. I think that I don't necessarily think he's a bad coach, but what is happening? I feel like they come in waves. Like, they have such a promising season. They make it to the championship. Sorry to bring up that wound. And then, yes, they had a fire sale. So that was fine. That was reasonable. And then I guess people just maybe had better expectations for them this season so far. I think I maybe had better expectations from them this far. Again, injuries not great. Lavelle just came back. Pugh has been kind of on and off. I think she is injured again, potentially. Apparently, we'll know on Friday's injury report what's going on with her. I did see on Twitter that someone had reached out, and that was kind of the response they got. I do think either she went off or appeared to be injured after the game. I didn't watch that game in full disclosure, so I just kind of saw the highlights, but
and she wasn't on the call up, so I think that added to the speculation as well.
Thank you. I knew I was forgetting to say something, but yeah, her not being on the call up is, I guess, sort of questionable. I don't know. I've Spirit friends. I want your team to do well. It's another one of those teams. Another one of those teams. I don't really know where the well, I know where the problem is for that game. The team just looked kind of asleep, I guess. Again, the defense was not and to be fair, I will be fair. They had kind of a wonky lineup. Again, all these games in a short period of time, you got to rest people. So they maybe had a lineup and back line that they would not normally have had. So I won't be too hard on them, but I want them to do well, and I don't know where the not doing well is. I don't know what's happening with them.
Oh.
So I wish them luck in figuring it out because I want them to do well. I do.
So I had a thought, wanted to go back to the dash real quick. And I guess,
Sure.
we have talked about, how there's other stuff happening and how much that's caused. And what I think stood out to me from that game is how much they rallied. I mean, Muis's injury happened in the 19th minute. It happened before any goal was scored. And, when it's an injury like that, I think everyone knew right away. You see it. We all know it. We're soccer fans. You see an off ball. Yep, it's going to not be great. So to have the team rally, I mean, especially mostly in the second half, a lot of those goals, but then the end of the first half, maybe they are going to be all right. There's definitely stuff happening behind the scenes that is still probably shady, in my opinion. We all were. We've all gone off about all that plenty, but Starkiller pointed out, again, they're fighting for each other type thing, which is really nice to watch. And I hope that they keep it up because, they deserve it and their fans deserve it. And, I think the league deserves it too. I think the rest of us do.
I would agree with that. All right, real quick. I promise it's going to be super quick because we got through all those games in a half hour. I got to come back to Portland and the Royals real quick. I don't know. Some of you may remember. I think this was last season. There was like Sky Blue Gate where, like, God forbid, they did their post-game sprints down by the Riveters, and it was a whole big ordeal. And like, oh my God, the world ended. Well, apparently the Royals also did their post-game sprints down, I guess, on the whole length of the field, off to the side, but instead of staying on half of the field or going like the fat way, like the width of the field, they went all the way down. And the Riveters, they celebrate with the players. They do like hand out like awards, they have a little ceremony, all that stuff. Again, I saw the video. Someone posted it on Twitter of them with some very strong opinions of how classless the Royals were for sprinting in their area and how dangerous it was. And oh my goodness. I saw the video. They were pretty much off to the side. I don't think they were in the way of anyone. And I have Riveter friends. It's kind of the same thing with Utah. Like, you wonder why some people don't like you. And I'm trying to be as diplomatic as I can because the Riveters have done so much for like supporter culture, and they come out in full force every week, every game. They travel and they're great. I will say that. I don't know. There's certain things to make a big deal about. I don't know that that's one of them. I don't know that that's a reason to flip off the players. I have more of an issue with that than the booing. A lot of people's argument was that's what happens when when people are unhappy, they boo. Okay. But in the video I saw that's going around on social media, there's a lot of flipping off of players for just doing their sprints. Katie Stengel actually tweeted about it, kind of a response of hey, we're just trying to like be better and do our post-game stuff and improve and whatnot. And I guess was kind of shocked by that, response. And like I said, I don't want to go in too hard on the Riveters because I really appreciate what they've done or what they continue to do for fan culture and things like that. But I just think that sometimes I could see if they were like literally parading through where the team was doing their celebration with the fans and everything like that. I don't know. For me, it just kind of seems like something that was pick your battles. I understand them being upset, but I think it maybe blew up more than it needed to. And that's all I'll say about that. Especially if you do so for people who.
I'll barely minutes.
What?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
I said I'm barely going to talk about it. Proceed to talk about it.
No, and I'm done. I quit 2 minutes. I just, again, for people who do so much, sometimes I think just pick what you are choosing to have a strong response about. And I don't know that was I don't know that that warranted a stronger response as it got. It's not the first time it's happened and has warranted a strong reaction, but that's all I'm going to say about it. Just because I feel like I've touched about it because I'm an opinionated person and that kind of rubbed me the wrong way that this is happening again. But that's all I'm going to say. Pick what you're going to get upset about. I have no ill feelings against the Riveters at all. It's just something in the interest of, we say a lot of good things about people. I also will call people out when I think that they do things that are questionable. So that's all. Moving on.
Say that's all one more time.
What?
Say that's all one more time.
That's all. Really, I mean it this time. We're going to move on. That happens a lot. I think I'm done and then I'm not. But I said my piece. That's all I had to say. We'll move on to a little preview of this upcoming. Well, there's a game tomorrow because, why not?
Oh, I totally skipped to the call-ups the national team.
Do you want to do the call-ups first? We'll do the call-ups first. We'll come back to preview. We'll do the call-ups first. Switching gears, going to the U.S. national team call-ups. I won't go through it all. I also don't have it pulled up.
I do.
Well, great. I'll just tell you a couple of quick things about it, and then I'll let Danielle say a couple of quick things about it. I saw a couple questions in the chat about it, so we'll come back to those. But happy to see Abby Smith there. Yep. Real happy to see McCall Zerboni get called up. I know people don't like her usually in the league, and I get why sometimes, but she's been having a heck of a season for the Courage, so I'd like to see hard work be rewarded. Merritt Mathias was called up. Interesting. That's just my opinion. I don't really have feelings towards her either way. I guess maybe was a little surprised by that. Midge Purse too. I don't know about that on the back. I don't know if that's. We still have back line, outside back issues, I think, but I don't know if that's the answer to the issues. I guess we'll find out. Somebody in the chat asked if we thought we would have maybe seen Mewis on there. Christy Mewis, Sam Mewis is on there. Glad to have her and a lot of other players back. Tobin Heath, Julie Ertz, who had missed the previous camps for injuries. I would have guessed probably Christy Mewis. We may have seen Christy Mewis just because it does actually seem like Ellis was maybe paying a little bit more attention to NWSL this time. I know we always joke that she says that and then doesn't, but I think the Zerboni call-up kind of shows that, at least to some extent. I think we probably would have seen Christy Mewis. She would have been one of those surprises I think that we were looking at, but guess we'll never know. But I don't know. I'm having one of these hard times because I want to be excited about the national team and I want to be excited about the friendly. But then I'm annoyed because the FIFA window doesn't open till the 4th, and yet they're pulling the players for the games this weekend. So, that's kind of what I have to say about the national team. I think that it'll be an interesting roster. I'm happy for certain players on there. I'm indifferent about other players on there. I'm mostly just salty that people are missing games unnecessarily again. But that's, yeah. Danielle?
No, this was an interesting call up to me. Casey Murphy being called up, that was a big surprise. I am happy that with our keeper position, we keep getting talent in. I think a lot of people were surprised Jane wasn't on there. She's not had the strongest start of the season, but neither has a lot of our keepers. But I've talked about how much I love Abby Smith a lot, so I'm glad she got called again. But having somebody new, because I think with our goalkeeper position in the past, that we've had a great player. We've had our number one, and then we've never developed beneath. So hopefully this is a start of we're going to keep developing them. And so it's not just we have a veteran, an older player, and one young player, but let's have some aged throughout the whole, gambit of ages, I guess. Not necessarily the word I was looking for. So that was a big surprise. And then what was the other thing? To me, Matthias was a big surprise, but I don't know if I'm towards that, but I don't know if that's just feelings from the past in me because she's not my favorite player. I'd be interested in seeing if she actually gets to dress this time because I don't think she ever got to dress when she was called up that first time because her and Shea were both called up into that camp because that was the big deal. And I know Shea was never on the, available as a sub. I can't remember if Matthias was.
Played. I don't know.
She never played, but I'm saying if she actually dressed, which I don't think she did. And then, what was the one? Oh, A-Rod. A-Rod's back, which is exciting. I think A-Rod,
I forgot her.
We've talked about having young players, older players. So yeah, she's getting to that older thing, but maybe having the mix, I think, solves that problem because I've always felt like a hypocrite where I'm like, why don't we have more young players? Having that mix is good. And A-Rod, I'd put her on my team every single day of the week. So I'm excited for her. Hopefully, hopefully she stays strong and maybe she goes to France. So fingers crossed as an A-Rod fan. And then another one that stood out was Press is back on.
How did I forget to say that? Oof.
So, she's at 98 caps already, which when I was looking at that, which is crazy to me. Like, I just remember her first cap. I'm getting old, I guess. But, transitioning her back in past all that BS that happened a few months ago. So, yeah, not that I had anything to say about that. It's just a big story, Press back. So those are my thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say something and I forgot what it was.
We're doing so good.
Oh, one point of note, you mentioned Campbell not being on the roster. No one from Houston's on the roster, and again, you wonder, would we have seen Kristie Mewis on there? I would say probably.
I think so.
I know a lot of people who are kind of like, I've seen two things. Some people who are like, yeah, that's probably fair that there's not any Dash people on the roster, and there's some people who are like, there's no Dash people on the roster. I will say I've seen a big argument for Amber Brooks to be called up again. I know it's been some time since she's been on the national team, but I wouldn't have been mad about it. I will say again, based on performance, I could see that going either way. I can see why she was left off, but if she had been included, I wouldn't have been upset about it because I do think that she's been having a pretty good season. So that one I think could have gone either way. I think if this camp was happening a little bit later, maybe we would see more Dash players on because they're starting to really get in their groove. But I don't know if Ellis is looking at NWSL performance for these decisions. I again would have made an argument for Mewis, but we'll never know about that. And I could make an argument for Amber Brooks, but other than that, I would understand why there's no Dash people on. But I guess we'll see what happens for further camps and when they do the Four Nations later on. I know this is kind of like a pre-camp for that. I don't know if people will be added to, I'm sure people will be added and removed from this list based on kind of what happens between now and then. So
there's a good point made. Morgan Bryan was on the list and she hasn't played since April 1st and possibly injured. So that was an interesting inclusion, but I wonder if it's more evaluation purposes than anything. But at the same time, you could still bring them in without taking a roster spot. So,
yeah, I guess I see you're bringing up all the points and people in the chat are bringing up all the points I kind of forgot about. But yeah, I've heard a lot of conflicting issues with Morgan Bryan. Some people say she was injured. Some people said, well, no, there's just better players on the team than her, which is not untrue. She did not.
That was tough.
She did not play. Don't even think made the roster for the Women's Champions League finals. So. Again, heard that was either via injury, heard that was because there were better players on the team. So it very well could be evaluative. But again, you could do that. Evaluated, that doesn't sound right. But you could do that without taking a roster spot. I agree. But it'll be interesting to see what role Morgan Bryan has, if any, in the game. But on that note, did you have something else to say about the national team?
I have to say, not to keep bringing this up because I'm a Debbie Downer, but not having a club team makes national team call-ups less stressful. Like, I guarantee you, you were talking about them being away from their team. I guarantee you, if Kansas City was still around, I'd be like, I'm happy for A-Rod, but we don't get her this week. Just don't care.
You have to wonder if the Courage fans are like,
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. That's like 5 people from our team. Excuse me.
Excuse me. Been there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's good for the Courage, but like, anyways, we'll scoot on to
U.S. Soccer. Just wants them to take an L finally.
I just wish they would stop pulling people out of away from their teams earlier than they have to, but I could say that until I'm blue in the face, and it will never change, so it's fine. Alrighty, speaking of the Courage, players will be there for the game tomorrow. So wait, does this even affect the Courage? It does affect the Courage, but yeah, tomorrow, Courage Thorns. I think that'll probably be a pretty good game. On too late for me to watch. It's way past my bedtime. Thank you, Portland. But I think that's always they always have a good, if not grossly physical matchup when they play. That'll be fun. Hopefully everyone makes it out unscathed without injury and they all carry on.
I hope everyone has a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other comments about that one?
All I want from that game, I think it will be a draw, but all I want is when I check social media on Thursday morning for the story to be the game and not anything else. That's my only hope.
Hey, I'll agree with that. And yep. All right. I guess I 2-1 Courage. That'll be if we're doing predictions, that'd be my guess. Man, I don't want to be that person who's like gonna get crapped on, but I'm gonna be that person. Game of the week Saturday, the Spirit and the Red Stars. I know everyone's got to have their turn being the game of the week. And when they set the schedule, you don't know how people are going to be performing when you get the game of the week. But as much as I just sighed and rolled my eyes, I will say that last time the teams played each other, it was a pretty good game. So it could be, again, a pretty good game. I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. I will say that Chicago will win 2-1, though.
I can't choose. I have friends on both sides.
I'm in trouble for picking Chicago, so I've rooted against the Thorns and the Spirit. I'm in trouble. It's
You're
fine.
dead. I think it'll be a draw. I'm hoping it's not a 0-0, but I mean, I'll still go with the draw.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I heard that.
They're just playing. It's the two babies. I think they're playing. There's not blood or no one's been hissing yet, so I think we're okay. Hang on. They just want attention. We're almost done, I promise. I'll play with you in a minute. We have 4 cats. 2 of them are young and like to cause trouble. So I apologize for that. They've been mostly okay, and now they're having a stare down right now. I wish you all could see it. Oh, Sky Blue in Utah. You know what? I had 1-1 draw. I can't. I really want to pick Sky Blue here. I can't tell you how much I want to pick Sky. Children! Oh,
I think what you do with that.
Here, but I can't.
I'm going to go with Sky Blue. I think it's going to be 1-0.
Good for you. That's what I wanted to say, but I'm having a hard time. So
I mean, Utah's not going to have Becky. Utah's not going to have Abby Smith.
True.
Utah's not. I mean, but then who do you have behind Bart? I mean, you have Barney behind Abby Smith, so it's fine. But still, it's different. Chemistry. So and then A-Rod's out. I think Sky Blue. I mean, they're going to miss some of their players too. I mean, how many times have I said put McCaskill as your team? Put her. But still, I think Shea might get in there and get a goal. I just want Shea Grimm to score. That's all I want in life ever.
Don't get mad at me because before you even said it, I actually. This is gonna be bad. Forgot that Barnhart was like a keeper in Utah. Sorry, I just.
Well, I mean, she signed pretty late. I think there was a lot of people who just figured she was going to retire.
And, yeah.
I think Barney's role is very mentor-esque, which I think is the perfect role for Barney. So yeah.
I will. Yeah, until you mentioned that, I was in my head. I'm like, who's the backup keeper for Utah? Because Smith's gone. Oh, sorry, Barney. I did
The best club keeper in the NWSL history.
No disrespect. Think you're awesome. I just totally had him out of. Sadly to say, like kind of out of sight, out of mind. Don't really hear a whole lot. So.
I forgot too when I started that sentence, and then I remembered during it. So don't worry.
I do not feel bad now. Fantastic. Houston Dash and the North Carolina Courage. I don't think that even with all the players gone, that the Dash are going to win. Watch me eat these words next week. 3-2 Courage. I think even with all those players gone, I don't know that they're gonna stop them. But that's just my thought.
I think the Courage has it, but I would be okay with being wrong.
Me too.
But I'd be a jerk if I had the Courage losing both games in my predictions. So
this is true.
There we go.
All right. It is real hard. For those of you who are watching and have never done this before, it is real hard switching back and forth between things. And then Seattle and Orlando. I don't know how I feel about this. I want to say that sorry, Karen, I know you're not around, but I think the Pride are going to win 2 or 3-1. That's my guess.
Yeah, I've been sitting on this watching while you were talking, and I don't know. Seattle just confuses me because they're so good, yet could be better. Oh, BB's making an appearance.
Hi, BB.
BB8. She is very confused because I have set up this office. Anyway.
By the way, sorry, I did not realize how fluffy BB has become since in the year that you've had her. I saw it. Just a side note, for those of you who haven't followed the history of BB, lots of fluff, real dang cute. Glad she makes an appearance sometimes. Didn't know she was a she until like 2 weeks ago, but it's okay.
This is baby BB.
Right. See, this is what I'm talking about. Lots of fluff now. Baby BB, real cute. 1 year old, 1 year plus old BB. Lots of fluff, real cute.
And now fluff.
Super doubly cute.
Anyways, I will talk about my cat we can finish up the 8 hours. I think that it's going to be a draw. I think that they're both really good. And I don't know. I just, somebody make my choice for me. I'm just going to.
I think Starkiller picked Seattle, so there you go.
All right, thanks. I'm going with Seattle.
I just, I don't know. But I'm just now hearing that echo, but that's okay. We're pretty much done. So, let me just. The Starkiller says, Courage, Washington, Chicago draw, Seattle, Utah, Courage. Braga Chica makes a super good point. Didn't think about it because we didn't really get an update, but if Krieger plays for Orlando, she did have we don't really know. She was injured, had some kind of an issue. It looked like a knee thing. And in the last game, I guess find out Friday when they pull out an incident report. I work at colleges. We work in incident reports. An injury report. And I get it. She may not play the hugest role on the team, but I mean, she had a pretty sweet assist to LaRue, and I think she's someone who's consistently, I guess, consistent on the team. So, and she does have a pretty good leadership quality. So, I can see that making at least a little bit of a difference. I don't know if it's like a game changer, but that's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up, and we'll have to wait till we get the injury report from the league and see what's going on. And that could be, I know there were a couple of questionables. So yeah, we'll have to see when that comes out how those might affect the upcoming games. Thanks for bringing that up. Totally forgot about it. Anything else? Any last final thoughts, Danielle?
I'm sorry, baby. You tried to jump on the windowsill and missed. I know it's hilarious. She tries. She only has one back leg, y'all. She tries so hard, but fails an awful lot. But about the games, no, not really.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks. We made it. I don't know how you're great, Danielle. I don't know how you've done this 2-person thing for 3 weeks kind of in a row now, because I think it's terrifying.
Karen and I just spout out stuff that may not be true, and then
that's okay. And I just pissed off a bunch of the Portland fans, even though that's not coming from a place of hate. It's coming from a place of I just figure your life out. But
it's because you care.
I guess I do. I guess I do. I don't like to see. I just don't think there's room in the league for kind of what I would consider petty things. But
we're almost at an hour. We're not getting back into this.
No, we're not. That was my final. Honestly, that was just me kind of saying, reiterating again, it's not coming from a place of being a hater or anything like that. So thanks for watching us. As always, I sometimes am surprised that so many of you do, but we appreciate it.
Because of our sparkling personalities.
Some part of us, some combination of us will be back probably next week. Who knows? But until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you when we see you.